For the last 3 years, publisher Devolver Digital have been cracking open the inner workings of the video game scene, specifically the hype and, as they so delicately put it,
tomorrow's unethical business practices today.
Now, this is nothing new. Anyone with a vested interest in gaming can give you their personal list of gripes around the industry. But Devolver manages to do so in an interesting, unique way by using the spectacle to pull the curtain back on itself. But what does the spectacle mean exactly? Well, back in 1967, philosopher Guy Debord wrote The Society of the Spectacle, a short but very dense work that examined how life has moved away from the lived to a representation of itself. The spectacle, as he describes it, is, quote, not a collection of images, but a social relation among people mediated by images. The spectacle is a model of life and not necessarily the reality of it. It exists as information, advertisement, propaganda, or direct entertainment consumption. That which appears is good, that which is good appears. Now, a main takeaway from the spectacle is that humans degrade from being into having. We exist, and through social conditioning, we want to accumulate stuff. This then morphs from the having into the appearing. We have, so we must receive prestige. We must receive our social capital. We're shaped by what we have and what we appear to be. The spectacle, then, is what Debord describes as the total occupation of social life. Let's go back to video games. The Electronics Entertainment Expo, E3, was originally a trade show meant for industry professionals and journalists to come and see what the industry had in store in the coming year or so. E3 highlights upcoming games, often with demos, trailers, and varying degrees of information. It usually has massive booths for companies such as Nintendo and Microsoft to show off their wares and build hype around coming features and games. As each year passed, E3 gradually became the big show of the year to everyone remotely vested in video games, professionals and fans alike. And the companies took notice, making their shows bigger, brighter, more extravagant, all to vie for our attention. I'm important. This is where the social capital is. Look here. Now, what E3 hasn't done is delve into the frankly embarrassing business practices that publishers and developers have committed over the years. The long-standing issue of crunch, employee burnout, the piecemealing of games with season passes and DLC, or offering multiple special editions of a game with certain content locked away depending on which edition you purchase. Loot boxes and DLC, shady early access titles. Most of us know of these issues and more, but they don't tend to be highlighted since we're forced to look at the dirtier side of the industry. Look here, ignore that. New games, sequels, people dressed as Mario, free swag. Look here. On June 11th, 2017, Devolver Digital released their Big Fancy Press Conference, a pre-recorded film featuring Chief Synergy Officer Nina Struthers, host of the show. Almost immediately, however, we get a glimpse that something is amiss. Faced with a crowd that won't stop cheering and applauding, Nina pulls out a pistol and fires shots into the air, clearly agitated. Now, from there, the video morphs into a brilliant takedown of the gaming industry. Myro Lowry introduces Devolver Digital's Screen Pay, which literally involves throwing money at a screen to have more content added to a game. Nina returns to showcase Devolver Digital Earliest Access, in which consumers can pay to own a game, as she puts it, at point of conception. Speaking of consumers, they're not spared either. The final reveal from Nina features Devolver Digital comment-created content, knocking down gamers who post vile, crass, and otherwise ignorant comments on forums and message boards. Oftentimes, these comments are lacking knowledge about the difficulties of game design and actually developing a game. No one is spared Devolver's critical eye. From a technical aspect, the film aims to emulate the frenzy of E3, the quick cuts, the audience reactions, but it's never quite what you expect. The cuts are jarring. They're not smooth and polished, but they're chaotic, messy. We see audience reaction shots often used twice or more in response to the action on screen. The audience doesn't matter, but it's just as important for the spectacle as Nina and her colleagues are. And, of course, there's the over-the-top violence. All of this to say that Devolver used the spectacle of E3 and the gaming industry as a whole to look inward on itself. While a little on the nose at times, particularly when Nina says that this conference
is designed to subtly convince you to give us your hard-earned money.
It doesn't take away from the very real criticisms that the industry needs to address, and there is no better way than to use the spectacle itself. E3 conditions fans to the hype. I've been part of this myself. I've spent years live tweeting conferences from my home. I've been angry at delayed games, elated at titles from franchises I've liked, and curious to see more. And while I've met friends and colleagues from doing this, it was my form of gaining social capital, of trying to make myself seem knowledgeable and in tune with what was going on in the industry. This isn't a phenomenon that's restricted to me. So many people do it. Get involved in the artifice and willingness to show that we're part of it, that we're important and worthy of this special information, when the reality is that we're doing as Nina says. We're freely giving away our hard-earned money to companies who couldn't give less of a damn about their audiences. We've gone from existing and just enjoying a hobby, to having and wanting more. And appearance? You only need to look at social media to see that appearance is everything. Social capital drives us. This is the total occupation of a social life. This is what's important. Spend your money here. Talk only about this. Look here. I hope you enjoyed this short look into my take on the spectacle and how it affects our lives. I'd like to do more like this in the future, so if you enjoyed this, please comment below and let me know what you think. Like the video if you feel so inclined, and if you really enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing here on YouTube or following me over on Twitch for my live streams. Thanks for watching.